across the east of England.
From 105 to 108,
This is Vibe FM Essential News.
It's 5 to 10. I'm Rachel Keeling. The 4 British hostages kidnapped in Liberia have arrived back at Heathrow this morning. David Heed from Wellingborough in Northamptonshire was among the captives taken last Wednesday in a raid on an aid compound. He'd been working for a charity in the northwest corner of the troubled African state. All 4 hostages were freed and taken into neighbouring Guinea on Friday. Firefighters in Turkey have given up an attempt to put out a fire the country's biggest oil refinery, which started following yesterday's earthquake. There are fears the plant could explode. The death toll from the quake is expected to top 3,000, with 13,000 still missing, most of them buried in collapsed blocks of flats. A record amount of cigarettes and tobacco have been seized by customs officers in East Anglia this year. So far, over 100 million cigarettes have been confiscated. That's 3 times as much as for the whole of last year. There have been seizures from South Africa, Russia and Singapore. Officers say the East Coast ports are often key targets for smugglers, especially Felixstowe, the country's largest container port. Barry Jagger is from HM Customs and Excise.
You've got to remember that Felixstowe has traffic from all around the world. We have deep sea traffic, as we call it, which will come from places like Singapore, Hong Kong, Egypt, and equally we have the what we call the transit trade that's come across from Rotterdam, etc. So we've got the European aspect and the whole world aspect at the same time.
Cambridgeshire and the hunt's on for 3 armed robbers after a raid in Gamlingay near St Neots. The 3 men threatened staff in the Co-op on Church Street last night at around 6:30. They got away with cash and cigarettes. One was wearing a balaclava, another had blue and yellow material covering his face. They left in a red Vauxhall Cavalier, later found at Potton in Bedfordshire, and police are appealing for witnesses. Suffolk and businesses in Lowestoft are angry that phone lines knocked out by last week's floods are still out of order. In a statement, BT say they're working hard to repair the faults caused by last Monday's heavy storms, and they hope to complete the work by the weekend. But businesses say the loss of phone, fax and internet access is costing them money. Roy Hammond repairs refrigeration equipment. He says the lack of communication is costing him up to £2,000 a day.
If I can't receive a message or a fax or trade on the internet, I could lose work as easily as that. And once it's gone, it never comes back.
And finally, a mini tornado has sent trees and a chimney crashing to the ground in East Sussex. There were no reports of injuries, but police took 20 calls about damage, which included items from a garden centre scattered across the roads.
Essential News.
5 FM, where the East of England gets its news first.